When I was 13, my grandmother actually told me that rape was the fault of the woman. And my grandmother is Indian and part of my Indian extended family. And while I was visiting her in India, I kind of saw female infanticide and sexual discrimination against women. And that kind of alerted me to the fact that there are multiple layers of oppression that people face, and that I wanted to do something about it. And I initially was pretty angry about that statement that my grandmother had made. And I went to my parents and I said, you know, this is, how can I be related to someone like this? How can I be in a family where this kind of statement is possible? And they said, you know, well, maybe you should do something about it. And that's where the seed for the organization that I started, Turn Your World Around, began. We started out really small. We were raising funds through baking cupcakes. I've baked like thousands of cupcakes, and recycling used soda cans, everything like that. And we slowly grew, and since then we've raised over $100,000.
When you were 13, you had a choice. You could have said, here is a problem, and some adults, come and help me with this. Or you could have said, I'm 13 and I'm going to be a part of the solution. I know you told the story about your parents, but what is it about you that made you say, my parents told me that, but I can do it?
I think I was just profoundly affected by the fact that inequality exists and that something needs to be done about it. And I think that most kids are, and most teens and girls are profoundly affected by that because they see it in their daily lives. They see it in the media, in the ways that they are portrayed. They see it in the portrayal of different socioeconomic brackets along racial lines. So it's something that I think just resonated for me, and I had to do something about it. It really wasn't, it almost wasn't a choice because it was so clear.
And how have your goals changed from 13 to 20?
Well, I think that when I started, I was very naive about things. I thought that, oh, you could raise money and change would immediately happen out of that. I think it's really about thinking very intelligently about how you can create change, what projects work the best working with people. I mean, a lot of our initiatives, they've ranged from working with kids in the Sudan to working with potential female infanticide victims in India. Some of them have worked, some of them have not worked, and it's about figuring out how to work with people on the ground and make change that matters to people.
I've heard you talk about failure, specifically your failure, and the words you have used to describe it are spectacular, proud, transparent. Why is it that you are so proud of your failures, and why do you want to tell the world about them?
So I started a project that we were working on when I was going into college, and it failed spectacularly and also miserably. It was the worst summer of my life. We were working with prostitutes who had been forced into prostitution by their families in India, and we had started these projects. We had raised about $27,000, and our partner on the ground fell through. The money kind of disappeared, and we were there and we didn't know what to do. Failures like this are great because they allow you to think creatively about the problem. I think that had we had that money, had everything gone perfectly, we wouldn't have really communicated with the women on the ground. We wouldn't have really known their stories and learned from them. Failing is just so necessary because the first time you think about something, it's unlikely that it's going to be genius in its full incarnation. You really do need to keep trying and keep tinkering with the method to come up with something that really does work and that speaks not only to yourself but speaks to the people that you want to work with.